your day?
Oh, I've had a day. It's been a day. It's been a good 2 days, man. It feels good out there.
Yeah.
People are feeling good. So that's exciting.
What did you do today? What are your days like?
What did I do today? Today was phone calls and prepping. That's what
Yeah.
today was. The day
Yeah.
that I'll take care of anything personal because the entire week is booked. Been an influx of love and like support and just creators feel good today, to be honest with you, Jack. Like
Yeah.
something I didn't even think of was that some of the creators already present and active on Patreon, like they felt better yesterday. And that kind of felt real good too. Like it's just this contagious, overwhelming effect. So everything is good.
That's awesome. Did you talk with any of those other creators, or you just
Hell
been like hanging
yeah.
out?
No,
Yeah.
hell yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I do with my spare time. I talk to the people.
Yeah.
And people feel good. People feel good. The video you did, I want to thank you. That was beautiful. What a word.
Oh man. I that was like the easiest video I ever made, probably. Thanks for posting on your channel. Last time we checked, it had like what 200,000 views or something on your Instagram, which is insane,
Yeah.
man. Your network is insane.
Yeah. The message is insane. And every time I hear it, I'm so blown away that it has to be repeated. But it was a thing of beauty listening to it. I mean, we hear it from me a bunch, and we've heard it from me throughout like my entire career. So to hear your voice kind of echo the same sentiment, I don't know, it touched my spirit.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Joe. One of the questions I'm getting from a lot of folks, and as I was talking to reporters too about your launch, one of the things that came up was like, what is the Joe Budden Network? Like, what does that look like? What's it going to become? Are there other shows? Is there more content? Is it bigger than podcasting? Where's he going? And when you and I talked originally, you said you don't kind of talk about your business that much, but like I want to know too. Like, where is it going? What are you doing? What are you
I don't,
building?
I don't, I don't talk about it. Oh man, is it my PTSD? Is that why I don't talk about it? I don't talk about it because of paranoia, because I'm just used to people stealing shit. That's why I don't talk about it. But man, sky's the basement. Sky's the basement, man. The most important thing is doing good business so that you can do good business. Owners creating owners, simplifying things in language that other creators can understand, viewing creators as people and not data. Like it starts there for me. Then you can get into the other podcasts, and we have more podcasts coming. But this is not just a podcast operation. We have scripted stuff coming. I have unscripted stuff coming. Like the goal is to expand and just grow and just change the world, really.
And what's your like what's your what's that transition been like from you know hip hop into this new role? Because you got a team now and you got a bunch of people helping with this, and you're running this organization, you're building this company. Like what's that been like for you? I mean, and I'm asking because I'm going through the same thing for myself, right? It's like, as a creator now, running a company and dealing with all the things that come along with that. What's that been like for you?
It's been fun. It's been fun. It's been exciting. It's been like stepping into my destiny, right? Like I always say, the beautiful thing about podcasting, and probably the most important thing when you talk about it, is you have to start. And once you start and you start your mission, you'll see all the different types of things that you need to continue to build. And that's a day-to-day process. So that's what it's been like since retirement from hip hop for me. It was okay, we're going to start a business and we're going to start at step A. And then you pick up some really good people along the way. And then you realize, hey, I need 2 cameras. I need 5 cameras. I need 20 cameras. You start to just look at your time like as your inventory, and it becomes less about the financial gain and just more about, for me, it just became more about legacy. So it made all the decision making really, really easy. Like on my podcast, a lot I talk about all the different no's and no's and no's, like how the no's got me all the information. But really, there was no hesitance in it because I'm true to what I believe in. Like back to the Joe Budden network model, we just gonna live and die on the right and wrong side of things. It don't have to be so complicated. That was a rant. Did I answer the question, Jack?
No, it was great. It was beautiful. Yeah. And then what about, so the other thing that's on my mind, with regard to what you're building, the Joe Budden network, and do you have folks that you're modeling this after? Like, are there creators in your life or businesses or whatever that are like serving as inspiration to you as you build this out?
All of them. It's too many different creators that inspire me. You talk about the Howards, you talk about the Charlemagnes, like Bill Simmons, the Rogans. Like, it's too many different people, and Angie Martinez. There's too many different people that I've been blessed enough to be able to pull from their story to help to create my own. And there's a lot of lesser known creators that's why inspiration is beautiful. Like, you can be inspired from anybody, and they all inspire me and they all help me. And I try to bring myself to that. I try to bring myself to that, and it's worked out pretty well. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what are you looking forward to?
Like, I don't see how, honestly, not to cut you off, Jack, I don't see how podcasters or anyone in broadcasting could be short on things to say today with the current climate in not only the country, but in our entertainment industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how could you not be, because we're talking about inspiration, how could you not be inspired to speak on something? How could you not be passionate about something right now? And I think that's been the thing that's just driven me this entire time. It's been a real seamless, easy to do thing because of passion and inspiration.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, I guess, like, when you do these shows, what's your production flow like? Like, are you prepping like with topics, and how do you kind of prepare for that? Are you going off the cuff most of the time? Like, what's your kind of process for getting these things out there?
I mean, Jack, for me, I'm prepared. I do 2 shows a week, 2 podcasts a week. And for me, I prepare for them every day.
Yeah.
Every day is learning, information gaining, forming an opinion, and just exercising my brain. We get there and we chop it up. Those are my friends. Like, that's the blessing. Those are my friends. We can talk about anything. We know each other's body language, mannerisms. We know each other like the back of our hands. So there's chemistry there. But we just kick it like friends. Maybe that's affected the friendship more than anything. Like, maybe we don't talk as friends as much because we just kick it so much. But yeah, we kick it. There's not a big hoopla, pre-production. We get there, we eat, we talk, we vibe, we record, tape it all. We're not looking to edit things. I've been that way since my YouTube days on Joe Budden TV in 2007 because I didn't have an editor and didn't know how to edit. I just don't want to edit. As a rapper, I never wanted to edit so much in the booth. So we just keep everything.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, let's talk about, kind of, since you're talking about the early days of YouTube and the web. You articulated something, and I think in our first Zoom call with each other, it became clear to me that we had we were coming from the same place on the first phase of the web and the next phase of the web. And the way I think about it is like, over the last 20 years, we've gotten really good at distribution. Like the web has kind of evolved to connect a lot of people. And in that phase, we kind of put up billboards all over the web to finance that entire operation. It was kind of like the way that the web stood up and the way that we kind of got 2 billion, 3 billion people to use it. But in that process, we kind of forgot about we forgot about the financials. We forgot about how to kind of drive it from an economic perspective. And so we got great at connection, and all these sites popped up and all these distribution platforms and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and social media and Twitter and everything. But the money didn't make sense. And so 100 years of systems to help creators get paid, which actually didn't even work that well, were basically bypassed. And we wound up in a place where you and me and all creators are essentially working for free and putting stuff out and not getting paid. And as you said, things are getting stolen from us. And I guess the thing that you called out, in your launch, and the thing that I'm seeing now, and that we're clearly seeing with Patreon, is the next 10 years and the next 20 years look very different for creators. Like I think you feel the same here. I am more hopeful than I've ever been for the future of creativity. I think as platforms start solving that problem, which they're already like really leaning into and trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to see them literally competing to get creators paid. And I think we're going to start to see more folks, doing what you're doing, building independent businesses, answering only to themselves, saying what they want to say, running their operations the way they want to run their operations, and making a killing doing it, financing the whole thing, themselves. Do you see that coming too, Joe? Because I know we agree on the problem. Do you feel like that is changing? Because the thing that you said in your podcast to announce this was the days different creators have leverage. And that is like one of the truest things that I think people don't appreciate is how much leverage creators have now and how different that is than in the last 10 years of the web.
I totally agree. Couldn't agree more. I think that listen, I preach that. I think that, we didn't have the information before. And for me, it took me 17 years to learn some of this stuff, right, Jack? So like, I came in from music, got fucked, went independent, got fucked, went into TV, got fucked everywhere, pardon my French, right? So I'm talking to a creator yesterday, and she's saying, I want to get money like you. And I said, well, I mean, you're young. You got probably 18 more years to go. I'm 40 years old. You'll be all right. And she said, no. You walked so that I could run. I'm going to make that way sooner. And I laughed. It was hilarious. But the truth of the matter is today, there's a real visible path for young creators on how to be fully independent and self-supportive.
Yes.
Right? And that was almost a myth coming in. So today, I don't do too much time attempting to convince people like I once did, because I believe in the Office and the Friends theory and the Seinfeld theory. Like, you only need a select few to fight this fight, really, to shift the pendulum a little bit. So yeah, I think the moves that are made today and next year and 2023 affect 2030 and beyond. So I'm adamant when I talk about it. I scream, I yell it. I can be a lot sometimes, but that's how important it is. Like, right? Like I have kids that are looking to get into this, or at least one that's looking to get into this. And, I just want to leave it better than I found it. This is a
Yep.
real small window that we have that for me, it's never been open in my life.
I remember one time, Joe, I was at a Christmas party, and stupid conversation, mingling around, small talk, and this person asked me, this must have been in like 2000, I don't know, 2008, 2009. My band Pomplamoose at the time, we had just had like a great year, and we were really figuring out how to be independent creators. I think that year Pomplamoose made like $400,000. We bought a house. We built a recording studio at the house. Like I felt like I was so pumped about how we were able to do this. And I was feeling so proud. And I was at this party, and this guy asked me, hey, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a musician. And like his face dropped, like he sobered up immediately. And he put his hand on my shoulder, and he looked at me like really, really sincerely. And he was like, well, I hope you make it someday. And
oh man.
And I was like, fuck this. Fuck that guy. Fuck this world. Like I felt like I was killing it as a creator. Like I was accomplishing everything I wanted to accomplish. I was making music my way. I was getting paid. I was doing my thing, but there's this cultural stigma around it, or at least there was back then. And that is the thing that I feel is changing. Like that part is already different. When I had the conversation with my parents and I told them, hey guys, I'm going to be a musician, that sucked. That was the worst conversation. I don't think that's going to suck in 10 years. I think kids are going to have that conversation, and parents are going to jump for joy because they're going to know that you can crush it as an independent podcaster. You can crush it as
I think it's hilarious that you had that conversation with your parents.
Oh, it was dark. It was a dark moment. Not fun. My dad was like, Jack, I've heard you sing. You're no Mel Torme. So you see that happening too, Joe?
No, that's happening.
Yeah.
That's where we are. Ta-da.
Yeah.
That time is now.
It's already now. Yeah.
I just think some people may not know it because it's a lot of information like happening right before our very eyes. So, that's why we have all these podcasts. You got Clubhouse, you got all these different avenues where you can just pick up free thought. Like you don't have to be sheep today. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. What do you think's gonna push that over the edge? How do we speed that up? Because if you ask me, I don't ever want any kids to have that conversation again. I don't like the place I want to be in is where that's the norm. That's the mainstream. And that's obviously what I'm devoting all my time to, but how do we speed that up?
Well, that's the question of the hour, Jack.
Yeah. Maybe that's a good time too to bring in some more folks. There's a bunch of people that I recognize listening, Joe. I don't know if you want to bring some folks up. I could bring some folks up.
Well, the hand raising is on.
All right.
We can
take a couple questions.
Quickly? Jack,
go ahead, Lee. Go
Please,
ahead.
Lee.
Yeah. First of all, Jack, I think your story reminded me of my own life. I also had a very similar conversation with my parents when I was 17 years old applying to college. Informed them that I wanted to go to art school and study painting and become an artist. That conversation did not go well either. And they were really supportive during my childhood of art and painting and fine art. And then that suddenly took a turn when I started considering it as a career path. It was like that's not possible. Why would you throw away your entire life like that? You're too smart to waste your whole life on art. Like, please don't go to art school, go study something practical so that you can actually financially support yourself. And that conversation has stuck with me all the way to the present day, because I also very much want us to realize a future in which kids don't have to have that conversation and they can actually view their creative passions as a viable career path. And I think that is the case in terms of what children want and what the next generation wants to attain. I think today it's still too challenging for most of them to actually be successful and to have financial stability from pursuing that. So I think what needs to happen is there needs to be more ways for creative people to make money. There needs to be more platforms that are creator friendly. Those platforms have to actually be designed in a way to enable emerging artists, not only the top few handful of a few hundred or thousand people to be successful, but actually enable the torso and tail of the distribution to be successful and to earn money. I think there needs to be more creator monetization tools that help people to earn income in different ways. So instead of just being reliant on YouTube AdSense or a single channel for their income, they can sort of stack together multiple pieces of income and pursue their creative passion as a full-time thing. I think there needs to be more education around all of the skill sets that people need to have in order to be a successful creator. And then I think we as consumers, like everyone in this room, needs to be cognizant that these folks who are creating things for our consumption on all of the social platforms, they're not just doing it out of the goodness of their heart without any consideration of their financial needs. They're not immune to financial pressures, and that I think we as consumers collectively need to step up and be willing to recognize the value that they're providing for us as a society and be willing to support that financially.
I couldn't agree more, Lee. And we just I just noticed that Troy Carter was in the room, and so I invited Troy up to speak. I think Troy needs no introduction, but Troy, welcome to the room.
Hey, thanks for having me. I just jumped in and caught a little bit of the conversation, but definitely good so far.
How you doing, Troy? How's your day going?
You know, good. It's Groundhog Day, but all good, all good. And congrats on everything that you guys are doing. Saw the announcement with Joe. Super proud of you, Joe. And just keep taking it to the next level. It's fantastic.
Blessings. Thank you so much, Troy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been an exciting few days for me, man. I can't speak for anybody else. This is awesome. But even
when I saw the partnership, you know, for me, you know, it definitely, I think it caught the world off guard, Joe and Sam and Jack, because I feel like this one wasn't obvious. It wasn't obvious because usually, you know, you see a lot of people just kind of take the same paths. And like this path just feels like, you know, a brand new trail. And I just feel like it's just gonna unlock a lot of opportunity for a lot of people coming behind Joe with this.
That's the same relief I got once I learned more about Jack's story and I just found out that he was a creator. Oh my God. The way you're just able to identify with people from all different walks of life just because of what you do, this innate gift that you have. It was beautiful, man. I'm on a high still. And it's important for me. I think it's always important to like just show hope, show like a some type of beacon of light while you're going through the tunnel. Because as a creator, we live in the world of self-doubt. We live in the world of paranoia. We just live in so much that the regular civilian don't know. So when you get that glimmer of light, like when you could see it, somebody's planting some shit that might affect a few other people outside of themselves. That shit is exciting, man. It's exciting.
Yeah, I've talked to, I don't know, at this point, you know, almost 8 years into Patreon, I feel like I've talked to literally thousands of creators. You know, it's got to be thousands and thousands. And I'm always surprised at like how lonely it is as a profession. You'd think, you know, with all the tools and all the connections and all the, you know, just everything available out there, you'd think there'd be tighter communities and it'd be less just lonely, and less about kind of carving your own path and figuring everything out yourself. But the other thing I found is everybody's got such an interesting, different, weird business that the truth is there's not a lot of precedent to go off of. And I guess to your point, Troy, like Joe, you're kind of, you're carving a new path here, and you're kind of paving the way for other folks. Yeah, where does that come from for you? Like, how have you been able to kind of cope with that? I don't know if you feel lonely in it or not, but you certainly pick your own path in a bold way. That's probably an understatement. Where does that come from? How are you able to do that time and time again?
There's this natural disruptor thing in me, just genetically. For one, it's so much fun. But the long and short of it, Jack, is what are rules? What are rules? Like, just shit made to be broken. Shit that a guy made up somewhere as he went along the way. And as a black man in this country, I mean, I have a whole different view of rules and what they teach us in school and the story that they attempt to attach to us. Like, I never picked up my information from any of the places that they put there for us to get information from. It was always from some weird place. It was always from the bottom of the bottom. It was always from the street or the bums or the athlete that didn't make it in the park or the drug addict. And those lessons just always seem to be a little more life appropriate for me. So when you learn that groupthink don't really work for you, like it's a natural thing. This has been me since long before music. So then you get in music, and music destroys the rest of your brain with what you thought it would be and then what it is when you get there. I mean, I think it's a pretty natural process how you end up saying fuck everything and everybody and let me think for myself as a creator. When you learn everything is smoke and mirrors, nothing is as it seems. Everyone has an agenda, an objective, an incentive. Everyone is looking to profit. Like at this point, you're just running around looking for good-hearted people and good souls. And when your time is spent around those people, that's where the value is, Jack. And that's why our conversation was such a sigh of relief. That's why it was loaded. It came after months and months of talking to liars, of talking to people that just were greedy or just wanted to pillage, just people that weren't on the right side of pretty much anything. Well-educated, wealthy, well-traveled, awesome. But who are you in your soul? Like, that's not fun. As a creator, that sucks the life out of you. Big part of why I retired from music. Like,
That's one of the things I'm scared about, though. Like Joe, like, and I guess this is a question for all of you guys. Like, I was having a conversation earlier about just where we are at as an industry right now, and specifically when you look at the creative industry, like with when we look at the impact that tech and the influence that tech and money has on on the creative economy right now, like how do you keep your company with the best intent and building the best environment for creatives, just as you push into, you guys had an incredibly successful last round. I'm sure, it's people probably offered you guys crazy amounts to buy you or to take the company public. How do you keep the true north with creators in front? Because I'm really afraid of just where we're at right now, and sort of who's controlling the music industry.
I mean, Troy, that's the question. That's the question. Like at the end of the day, that question is what I feel like my ultimate job description is, right? Like I feel just, I mean, to tell you the truth, like weirdly blessed. What a strange thing for me to suddenly be at the helm of one of these fucking tech companies. I mean, to just be frank about it, like, what a weird thing that some creator, who puts music out there on YouTube and built a little bit of a following and built a little bit of a business, and it kind of worked, and one thing led to the next, and now I get to be running one of these companies. And so, like, Troy, that is the thing that keeps me up at night. It's the thing that I think about. It's the thing that I view as my ultimate purpose, like as a person who's lucky enough and fortunate enough to be in this position. And there's no silver bullet answer, but I can tell you like a bunch of answers and things that that we've done along the way. The first thing is, like, every company has their values,